Okay, so I guess now the recording has started. All right, so here's a tutorial for the song Firefly. And this is for my student Rebecca. Or not, yeah, Rebecca. Okay, sweet. Okay, so first thing first, that's just as we have discussed in class. The first note is G, which is right beside the middle C on your right. So with your right hand, put your pinky on G, which will be put right here. Just give me 2 seconds. So let's use finger 5, which is pinky. Let's just recap. Oops. So right now I'm putting a hand to symbolize. That's a strange looking hand. Sorry about that, but okay, that's better. So let's say this is the pinky. We put a 5 there. And this is 4, 3, 2, 1. Oops. 1. So every time you see those notes, that's gonna, I guess, help you remember. Oops, sorry. Okay. There we go. Put 2 there. All right. Hopefully you can see that. And now we could put down a finger. So if you notice there's dots like here, and there's lines like here. So when you see the dots, it just means those are short notes. And you see the lines, even this one right here, this is also meaning it's a long note. So every time you see a dash, it means it's a long note. So let's use that as a method to know when to play short and when to play long. And let's say if you see this very long notes right beside it, like this one, that means it's a whole note. And a whole note, if you remember in rhythm fruits, whole note is represented with watermelon. So watermelon has 4 syllables. So let's say this one, you hold for 4 counts, 4 seconds. So you can say 4 seconds. Well, for now, you can remember that. So make sure you just hold those notes very long, and then you got it. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to play it, because that's the next step. Because now we got the notes down. Now we have to figure out how to play it. So we didn't get to go to that in class. So here is a little demonstration for you to know how to play it. So the first line is pretty simple. You don't use your left hand for first line, except for the ending of the first line where you play G, which is below the middle C. So G, like goat, G. Below the middle C is where your left hand thumb is going to be. So this is called 1. Oops, 1. So yeah, so you're going to use finger 1 on that, and the same as your right hand. So let's do that here. Oops. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna use a different color. So there's 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. Hopefully you can see that. So that's the fingering for left hand. Left hand. Oops. And this is called right hand. Yeah, left hand and right hand. So now we've covered the fingering for both hands. And now let's apply them. So basically, for your right hand, so for both hands, you're basically covering these notes. Oops. C, D, E, F, G. So that'll be the notes. Both hands, actually. So in your right hand, your right hand notes, no, your right hand fingering will basically be this. Just give me 1 second. 1, 2, oops. 3, 4, and 5. That's your right hand. And then now your left hand will be doing 5. It's like opposite. When your right hand's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going that way, the left hand will be the opposite, going 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because you think about it, C to G with your left hand is played with the pinky on C instead of pinky on G, like right hand. So 1 will be on G, while pinky is going to be on C. And then you fill in the other notes. The simplest way to do it is you put your hand on a piano, you find 5 for C, and 1, the thumb, for G. And you just look at the other fingers. You just notice that, the ring finger is right beside the pinky, and that one is on D, if pinky's on C. And you just kind of go on like that. So E is after D with middle finger, so 3 on E, and then 2nd on F. The right hand can do the same thing. You put thumb on C, and then pinky on G, and then you just fill in the middle notes, 2, 3, and 4. And you notice that 2 naturally lands on D, and then 3 is on E. So for both hands, 3 is on E. And then ring finger for right hand is on F, 4 on F. So now you have the fingering for both hands. And that will be the hand position for this piece, or the song. All right. So with that said, now let's get to playing it. So here's a demonstration of the whole song from beginning to end. Sorry, my bad. I have this thing in the way. Okay, let's try it again. Starting from the G from beginning. And the left hand. Now your left hand plays. So this is the second page. I know we didn't get to that yet, but we're going to do that now. So left hand. So that's the whole song, Firefly. It's really nice. So basically, the first line is pretty simple. You basically just play G, G, E, F, F, D. It's right beside the middle C on the right. So here, this G that you're playing is above middle C. So make sure the correct G, because this is written in the staff now. It's not like letters with just letters and there's no notes on staff, and you can play any G. But this one now is specifically to that G that's above middle C, because that's where it's written on the staff. So we start on that G specifically. So let's play it again. First line is G, G, E, F, F, D. And then that note there, it looks similar to first bar. At the end of first bar, there's that E right there. So it's the same as this one. So that means you play that E. It's because it's the same note. And then one after that, you see it drops to that letter line note. I know you maybe can't see it that well. So just emphasize that ledger line. On your stuff, you could probably on your sheet music, sorry, you could see that. Oops. There's a ledger. I'm trying to draw a ledger line. You know what? There. Okay, did it. There, I drew a ledger line. So that's basically a ledger line for C. So if you see a note like that with a ledger line, so like it splits the note in the middle, or it's like there's an added line middle of note, or like added to the note. Same as on page 2, you see a couple of those. So these would all be C. This is C2. This is also C. Oops. This is also C. So for this note. So, all right. And yeah, I think that's all. Oh, there's one more C, one C there. So every time you see this, make sure that you're playing middle C as a symbol for middle C. So let's continue on. So basically we were here on third bar, and then it returns back to the same note as before. This note here, which is the same as this one. So basically that is an E. So it's like this for third bar. And the next bar is D, because the same as this one, same as here. So these are the same as this one. So they looked exactly the same. So let's play D. So if you put them together, it sounds like this from beginning. And then your left hand comes in and plays a G below middle C, because here is middle C in the, oops, I drew a little big. Okay, so that's, whoa. Let's make this bigger. So middle C in the bass clef looks like that. So middle C here, this is C. So if you see that, that's a C. So if it's below that note and it's lower into the staff, then that means that is probably lower to your left on the keyboard, below middle C. So it's lower than middle C, so it's more towards your left. So that's where that G is, below middle C. There's a C, and that's the G for left hand. So that's where you start for your left hand. And now we get to a little more challenging parts where we're going to start integrating left and right hand action. So in these two bars here, you simply kind of look at it like it's this pattern. Sorry. I put R for right hand and then L for left hand. Hopefully that will, hopefully you remember that. So just kind of remember is R, L, R, sorry. R, L, R, L, R, L, R, L. So every time you see it, so these are also short notes here. So every time you see the dot, it just means for short notes. You see dashes, it just means long notes. Long notes mean it could be half note or whole notes. So it could be oranges, or it could be orange or watermelon. Just whole notes. There's a longer line like this one. So anyways, so back to those notes. Your action for those two bars is basically like this. You start on right hand, and you play left hand. Sorry, left hand, G. That's the G note. Oops. So your starting note here is that ledger line note. What's that ledger line note called again? Middle C. So your right hand is doing middle C. There you go. So you start with the right hand. So this goes 1, and this is 2, 3, 4. Oops. So like you see the pattern. Your right hand starts first, and then you play the other stuff. So it's like this. Right hand first, then left, right, left, right, left, right, left. I hope you still remember when I was playing it earlier. So that's how that part goes. So just make sure you're alternating. So those notes there, you'll probably remember it from the first line, C, D, F, sorry, E, C, D, E, F. And then it ends on G right here. Again, so it goes G here, and then here also plays G. So that's the easiest way to remember this. So hopefully that'll help you remember it better. G and G. Oops. Okay. So let's play the second line again. You start on the right hand and you're alternating left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Whoops. G. C, G, D, G, E, G, F, G, G, F, E, D. All right, now it's your turn to play. Try to play the second line by yourself. Da, 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 da. Hopefully you got it. All right, now let's go to the second page. I know we didn't cover this yet, but let's try. So now it's like the first two bars on the right hand here, like those notes, they're the same ones here, but they're played in the left hand. So if you remember the notes there, this first one would be G because it's the same notes. So G, G, E, F, F, D. So these two will be the same. And then it starts to change in the bar afterwards. So let's play the first two bars there. So G, that same G from before, in your left hand. It's the same thing. So it starts with finger 1 as written on your score. And this one is a short note, so short with dots. Short, short, 1. So hopefully that will help you remember note values. So you know the rhythm or the timing of these notes. Or like, I guess you could say how long you hold each note. So the first one is short, so it's short, short, long, short, short, long. It's just like this part, just like that. Same pattern. Short, short, long, short, short, long. And then now we change. This part is E. Because it's the same as this one. And we know that one now is E because it's the same note as this one, E. So this is E. So we play E. Oops. You know what? Whatever. I guess we're doing lowercase e. And then it's a G. So E, G. Actually, it's better to do lowercase. So that's E. So E, G. And this is C as written. And this one, it looks the same as this one, the one on first page. So that one is E, also E. So that's the note for that bar. E, G, C, E. And what you just did there, E, G, C, E, is a basic chord. It's called C major chord. Can you remember that? C major chord. And this will be your first chord. So now you learn your first chord, which is in bar 3, right there. C major chord. Basically, a C major chord composed of notes C, E, and G only. So you could have a lot of E's, you could have a lot of G's, you could have multiple C's in the chord, but it can only have those three kind of notes, C, E, and G in the chord, and that's called a C major chord. So you learned your first chord. Let's continue. Let's go to bar 4 and second page, sorry. All right, so that one, it's bar before, and next one, if you notice that note here, this is similar to this note, and that note we know is called D. So this one's called a D also, and it's also short notes, and this one's a long note in bass. This is known as the G because it's the same as this one, and this one, and this one. All right, so now we have uncovered the notes. So this one is D, oops, and this is called G, just like this one here. So now let's try not to write down the notes as much, and let's see how many we can get. Oh, we have one more note to cover in the bass. We're going to go to that one next. So as we have covered, this chord is called the C major chord, which is what this and this is. So let's go to the end of this bar. Let's do this one. Let's do that bar right now. So this first note, as we've said, is D, and then this is G. And that's the last bar. Very simple, right? 3 notes. So playing from beginning of that line. So line means this, back there. So now we finished that line. Also, I'm not going too fast, but yeah. Next one, we're doing that C major chord. So you're simply doing right hand C, E, G. Just like the notes of this major, the C major chord, C, E, G. That's the notes, C, E, G, C, E, G. All right, so let's do it. C, E, G, and the bass also is playing C, E, G. And we just now uncovered, this one is called the C. So C is down here in the bass. So C, E, G, and then your pinky now plays C, E, G. Okay. And just to make sure you know the note values or how long to hold each note. So short, short, long, short, short, long. So C major chord, C major chord. And now we have this last 2 bars to do. The last one's very easy. You simply hold C. Middle C. And the beginning of that last bar, second last bar, this one, is also C. So they both start with C. So that's this bar now. Let's do that one. So as covered before, the first 2 notes here looks like these ones. So this is C and G, sorry, C and E. C and E, because these are notes. Oops. Of the C major chord. So C, E, G, C, E, G. So first 2 notes there is C and E. This one here. Those 2 is C and E. They're all short notes. Oops. Okay. So C, E, And then the next one's also short note. Can you guess what that one is? It looks like, where is it? This note. And this is called D. So this one is D. And it looks like this bar. So we can break it down into two parts. So we do C, E, and then these two notes look like these two notes. So it's D and G. And then we go back to middle C, middle C, middle C, MC. All right. So now let's play the last line, the most tricky one out of them all. All right, hopefully you got that. All right, so now let's play from second page, beginning of second page, right from here. So I'll just kind of point to mouse. Oh, whoops. That's right hand. Now bass. Here. So I was doing that with just one hand. I'm going to do it this time with a better... Is there a way for me to... Okay, maybe this is better. So let's try it again. So I'm starting from here, this note. Oops, my bad. Let's try again. And C. All right, hopefully you got that. I was trying to navigate, moving it with my right hand, doing both hands with the left hand. But yeah, so hopefully you got the notes for the left hand on the right hand of the second page. And yeah, let's start from beginning. Maybe this will be a nice recap. So from very beginning of the piece here. Whoa, what happened? Starting from here. Let's play. Oops. Now left hand, alternate. Watermelon, and now left hand. Second page, C major chord, D, D, G. C major chord, C, E, D, G, middle C, watermelon. Okay, we did it. Okay, so let's finish up. Now it's your turn to play. All right, see you in the next class. Happy practicing. Bye now.